Thank you for introduction. I want to start from mentioning the people who involved me in open source world. And I want to mention Mark Dancy, who introduced me to the Open Compute project, to the Stefan Frenzel, who introduced me to the European open source community, and to John Laban, who inspired me to create the content of that presentation. And also, I want to say thank you to Andrew Brock and her team for this amazing event. And let's give applause for this event. So let's talk about the data centers, which is driven by financial pillars, and they focusing on the make efficiency from point of view of energy using to reduce the financial bills. But another two big elephants in the room is social and environmental impacts, which postponed with the solving of these issues. So let's understand how open source approach can change that. What we see now that data centers is claiming in a huge energy consumption, and they shift to the renewable sources. But the itself energy grid is become not so carbon intensive, and it's mean that we looking for the top of the iceberg, and the rest is on the embedded carbon and all the rest upstream and downstream activity of data centers. So what we try to provide is the open source solution for the industry, which allow you make transition from the carbonized approach to the decarbonized. And if we look for the data centers, it's start from the software. And in this case, we see a lot of open source software. Software define the hardware design. Hardware design define the cooling method. Is it air cooling, on-chip cooling, and immersion? And this cooling approach define the facility design, data center facility design, which is also defined by environment or heat reuse application. So we provide this comprehensive approach from server till environment or heat reuse application. And let's look for the open source hardware. So we have servers which is air cooled, but after 3 years of using, we can reuse them, adopt for the liquid cooling, and extend their life and efficiency. But why it's important to make reuse of the IT equipment? And for that reason, we can evaluate the ratio between embedded carbon of the IT equipment and the data center building. I mean, walls, basement, and the roof. So let's assume that for one rack, we need 3 square meters of the space in that center. And in one rack, we will have 30 servers. So embedded carbon of 3 square meters, if we assume 1 ton per square meter, will be 3 tons. And IT rack with 30 servers, embedded carbon will be 40 tons. And it's look that the relations is not so big. But if we look for the lifetime of the building, which is at least 30 years, and the lifetime of IT equipment, which is 3 years, and we look comprehensive on this lifetime approach, we will see that the ratio is 3 to 400. And if we are focusing on this 1% reduction, if we even achieve 0, there is still 99% of IT equipment. This is why, even if we extend the lifetime of the server from 3 to 6 years, we will reduce 50% of embedded carbon of that center. This is why it's so important, circularity. Now, about the rack design. when you shifting from air cooling to liquid cooling, you should have experience or guidelines how to do that. And open source racks provide you way how to do that, which include in itself manifolds, connections, flow rates, and etc. And in this case, you see that we can shift to the 84 servers, and the capacity will be almost 10 times higher. And this is also reduce the embedded carbon of the data center itself. Now about AI. We have this demand, but if we look for the capacity which can be taken by conventional data centers, in one rack we can put only 1-2 servers. 1-2. And it means that all rack will be empty. And in this case, we show open source liquid-cooled server dedicated for AI. And you see that there is 8 GPU and with total power 8 kilowatt. And how to create the rack which is ready for AI application. In this case, you see that in one rack we have 6 of them with overall capacity 62 kilowatt. But from this 62 kilowatt, 14 kilowatt is cooled by air and 77% by liquid. And you see the temperatures, which is much higher than conventional data centers, which allow us to achieve new level of efficiency and also make heat reuse. And now you see modular data center, also open source, which you can take, implement, make better, and give back, and improve the open community aims. So if we compare, air-cooled is 12 racks, 90 kilowatt, and open source dedicated for AI, there is 16 racks with 62 kilowatt. It gives you almost 1 megawatt, but we can densify it more and achieve even 1.8 megawatt. So the difference is 20 times. So you can imagine what it means, 20 times less embodied carbon of the building, higher temperatures, better PV, and opportunity to make heat reuse. So what we have today, data centers use renewable power, convert all that electric energy to the thermal energy, and make rejection to the environment. At the same time, in parallel, we have houses and district heating operators which use fossil fuel to heat up their swimming pools, buildings, greenhouses, dairy factories, beverage, and etc. So our approach, circular decarbonized economy, is reduce consumption of natural gas and heat rejection to the environment, and use that heat for the heating. And this is when we see the transition of the city from the fossil fuel to the sustainable heating. So this is both parties win-to-win strategy. Also, we provide open source fish farming and greenhouses, which can be implemented close to the data center, and you will have this ecosystem. Also, there is many other examples, and one which is in work, in progress. It's about water desalination. Because if we go to the Middle East, to the Africa, there is no requirement for the heating, but there is requirements in pure water. A lot of pure water for low-income people which don't have, which cannot afford a lot of this water, and they're struggling with that. And there comes this social pillar when data center can provide much lower in price purified water. And Christian Belady, vice president of Microsoft, in his video on YouTube said that data center should disappear. It means that we don't need to see ugly buildings which make heat rejection. they should be integrated in the area and should be nice. And instead of consume water and consume energy, they should provide energy and provide benefits, value. So, issue with that data centers always where is the cheap energy and where is no heat reuse opportunity. So how we can make that data center disappear and at the same time provide heating in the city center? Next stage of open source modular data centers is to go underground. On the left you see trade mall, and under this trade mall you have artificial cave which can hold 2,600 racks and able to provide 70 degrees water for the heating of the city. It's exactly in the heart of the city, where is this 100 megawatt demand, not far away. And at the same time, we create security for the data centers, safety, and also all the requirements to be valued by the city. And also this is the way how to get decarbonized energy for heating for the cities. This is all what I want to say, and I will be happy to answer on your questions. Please.
Thank you, David. That was really interesting. I've got a question about the modular underground data center. In terms of the construction of that, would that be built as an entire capsule and then buried underground, or would it be built in stages? What's the logistics of building something like that underground?
Yes, so this is turnkey solution. When you have a contract with one company, it is bring you all the requirements, how to build that, or investigate what you need from point of view of underground soil, etc. Everything is in the process which allow you to build all the infrastructure just in 1.5 to 2 years period of time. And we have already such installation in Switzerland, because in Switzerland there is no opportunity to build industrial building on ground. No opportunity. And the same actually we can see in cities of France, of Germany. You should be outside of the city. And that is absolutely another approach. And why it's modular? Because when you go underground, you avoid all that limits and legislations on ground buildings that make much faster. And again, we have talked about the small installations like 500 kilowatt, 1 megawatt, but hyperscalers start from the 10 megawatts. They don't want to go lower. And this is the also perfect way for hyperscalers.
Excellent, thank you.
Thanks.
I've got one more question, if I may. You mentioned there's two types of data center rack. There's an air-cooled and a liquid-cooled. How widespread are the liquid-cooled server racks? Are they used in most hyperscalers these days, or is that relatively new technology?
Again, data center don't want to shift from air cooling to liquid cooling. If they have opportunity to stay on air cooling, they will stay. The reason for that is new servers which not work with air cooling. This is the reason of transition. Okay. You have also a question? No? There is one question also.
Can you tell us about how you've collaborated in the OCP community to put forward the design that you showed earlier on with the modular data center?
Yes. All that modular data centers design you can find on OpenCompute project website, where is the links for first in the world open source liquid-cooled modular data center, and also for white paper for AI dedicated modular data center with 1 megawatt capacity and with these temperatures. So the source of information of that white papers and specification is Open Compute project.
So I lived for 10 years in Switzerland, so I was wondering, can you share some more details about it? And I know how Swiss people actually think, so I was wondering if they used the heat for the houses or something
in
else.
Switzerland?
Yeah.
The examples of heat reuse?
Yeah.
Yes, there exist a project with a swimming pool, which is, I think, more than 6 years. But for now, there is another ongoing project with Geneva Heating Company, which exactly looking for such approach to use this underground data center for heating all the city.
Right. Thanks.
I think we have a time for questions. Yes.
It's a really quick question.
Yes.
I find the idea of data centers underground really fascinating, but I do know that when you go underground, things get hotter. Has there been any studies or any research into the trade-offs of putting a data center underground where you've got to then spend more energy to cool it? What's going on there?
Yes, very good questions. Thank you for that point. Actually, when you go underground, you get more stable and colder temperature. But when you have 100 megawatt heat rejection, and if you will not take away that, all your walls will be heated in 1-2 days. It will be hot. But if you don't have cooling, let's say for the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, these walls will accept that heat and allow you to make longer your work if you have any disruption in the cooling. But there is many another advantages. As I said, it's a safety, but another great advantage is fire safety. And I will explain how you achieve that. So one of the way how to prevent fire is reduce the oxygen level from 19% to 15%. It means that people can work for 2 hours without any issue, but you can burn fire there. It's not possible. But when you go overground on surface, it's not possible to create such condition because you always have leakages, and you need to provide more nitrogen to support this level of oxygen. It is much more expensive. In this case, it's not expensive. You have such possibility, and it's also possibility to have this fire safety issue. Thanks.
You mentioned the 3-year lifetime for the cooled racks. Is that a case that it's both for liquid cooled and air cooled, or is there a difference in life cycle? I'm sorry if I missed that.
Please, can you repeat once more?
One of the slides previously covered that the racks last 3 years and they have a 3-year lifetime. I'm just wondering, is that the same lifetime for both the liquid and the air cooled?
So why we have 3 years? Why we have 3 years? It's not about the lifetime of the equipment. It's about the customers which make shift from old model to the new model, because new model make more efficient calculation with less energy consumption. This is the driver to make that shift. But this approach is mean that we can take the servers from hyperscalers, give them second life, convert them to the liquid cooling, and we will have this 72 compute nodes instead of 45, and we have another 12 air-cooled nodes which cover the storage demand and etc. And overall we have 72 plus 12, 84 servers, which is still pretty good for the cloud operational or high-performance computing. But each server consumption, energy consumption, is the same like here. It's roughly 300 watts, 400 watts, but the density now it's with the same servers, 27 kilowatt. And this is how we achieve 3 times more density, more performance, less energy consumption, and higher temperatures, which allow us to make heat reuse. So many things has happened. Thank you. We have 10 minutes yet. Yes, please.
Thank you. David, thanks very much for the presentation. You know I'm a big fan of yours. One of the things that I'd like you to take us through is many of the facilities are now aging. A lot of their design capacity were 4 kilowatt, 8 kilowatt. You're now mentioning 14 to 27. What does it take to actually take an older facility to actually bring it up to standards that can sustain the new racks?
Yes. Thank you very much for this question, because there is a really not clear understanding how to make transition from existing air-cooled data center for the new one, liquid-cooled. What we need to do. So when you will go to this modular data center design, you will see that it's the same form factor container. So here you have 12 racks, UPSs, and 4 in-row coolers. Each in-row cooler, 30 kilowatt, 3 working. So this is where we have this bottleneck, 90 kilowatt. If you look for this design, the same space, but no in-row coolers, no UPSs. We have 16 racks. On each rack, we have backdoor heat exchanger and on-chip cooling, and this CDU. So it can be translated also for the conventional, let's say, in the building data center. And this is how we fit in the same space, but we will have much more capacity. So backdoor heat exchangers, on-chip cooling, plus CDU. This is the way.
Fantastic, thank you.
If no more questions, thank you for your attention very much.